Morning, this is Oz on 91X, and we're with Fitz and The Tantrums. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for dropping by. We're excited to have you guys. It's going to be a great bill. I was just curious, the dynamics of playing big shows. I know you guys played Coachella last year. It seems like in a club, you guys can get like a thing rolling, like an atmosphere. How hard is that when you got, thousands and thousands of people? Isn't that a little difficult?
I mean, I think we're used to it. We sort of have a mentality. We play every show, whether it's in front of 200 people or 30,000 people, we give it the same kind of big energy. You just got to kind of look further out into the horizon when you're at a festival.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of big movements and, running around and a little bit more pacing of the vocal stuff, but it's always really fun. But there's nothing like doing a show where you're just like on top of, the crowd and all of that. But when you see like 30,000 people freaking out, it's even more, inspiring to like keep going. The adrenaline rush gets a lot bigger.
Because our show is all about like, we really want the crowd to be the seventh member of the show. We want them to be, engaged with us. And if they're not dancing their butts off, we literally will call them out from stage. So,
so you'll be unnoticed.
Exactly.
Let's go back to the beginning. I guess the band came into existence when a neighbor needed to unload an organ for $50. Do you still have that organ?
I still do. That's sitting in my living room / studio where Fitz and The Tantrums does all of its songwriting. And, it was a huge part of the first record and definitely was on the second record as well. And it's kind of one of the lifelines of Fitz and The Tantrums for sure.
So you couldn't spring an extra $10 to buy a guitar? What happened?
We have a rule. What is it, Noelle?
We don't really have that rule that much anymore on this new record, but yeah, before it was definitely no guitars and no noodling, that's for sure.
Yeah, no noodling.
Yeah. So, you mentioned the new album is called More Than Just a Dream. It's going to be out on May 7th. Now, the first record was a little retro kind of 60s feel. You want to broaden the base on this one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we didn't want to make the same record. We wanted to really challenge ourselves. On the first record, it was sort of 60s was in the foreground, 80s was in the background, the second layer. And on this record, it's reversed where the 80s is a little more prominent and the 60s soul is still there, but in the background. I mean, for people, fans of the first record, there's still a ton of stuff for them on this record. But I think we're so diverse in our musical listening tastes that, we just wanted to really try and make a record that pushed ourselves as much as possible.
Do you have any 80s favorite guilty pleasures? Who?
I mean, I'm a child of the 90s, I gotta say. Like anything that's like maybe after like 88 was for me. I mean, of course, getting into hip hop and, listening to Beastie Boys and all of that stuff. That was really like my thing. But also my dad was a DJ, so I had a lot of vinyl in the house, so I was listening to everything from the Temptations to Parliament to, Tina Marie, and then he had the Beatles and everything else. So, I was, kind of grown to listen to all types of music when I was a kid. So that was like my thing. I couldn't stand the hair in the 80s. That was a little hard for me.
See, there was two different movements for those of you that remember the 80s. There was two movements. There was the hair movement, and then there was the rest of us. And the rest of us were the ones that were rocking out to The Alarm, to General Public, to Style Council, to all that stuff that to me to this day is like has such a special place in my heart.
Yeah, sonically,
and, we used to actually, like in LA, if you were on the right hilltop, you could actually get 91X all the way in LA, and we'd be rocking it there. So.
They used to tell me that we would blast all the way down the Mexican border and up past Los Angeles on a good day. All right, so there's a song on the new album. It's called Merry-Go-Round, kind of inspired by this long 3-year trek that you guys took.
Touring life,
to me, for 3 years can either bring a band together or split them up. But apparently it worked.
We're still together.
We're still tugging along. It's been 4 years for us, and the fact that everything happened with such serendipity and with such synergy between all six of us in this band is just, it's amazing, and it still continues. We're all really good friends, like we talk, we see each other's families and, stuff like that. It has really brought us together, and it's also really brought together the sound and us being able to grow as a band. Musically, the guys are so impressive. Like everybody is there. We love what we do, and it shows every time we get on stage, every time we record together, that we love what we do, and it just works. It really clicks.
But yes, when you are on the road, it is, you spend 3 meals a day, 24 hours a day together. You know, you love, you fight, you make up, you are you're everything to each other. You know, everything else in your world is changing every day. You're the only constant. So you gotta like find a way to like, you know, lean on each other and get through the hard times together. You know, and that, you know, that's what that song is really about. Is that sort of weird displacement of being on the road, and I'm in another hotel room and I can't even remember what city we're in. I mean, that has happened to both Noel and I more than once, where we're like, I don't actually know where I am today.
You tell a great story about being in a bus with a stripper pole and everyone gathering around crying.
Oh yeah, I mean, I you know, that was a really emotional time. You know, when you're on the road, you are away from your friends, your family, from everything, and you know, for us, we were, you know, driving back from some weird gig, and you know, they'd gotten us literally one of those party buses with a stripper pole on it, and we had found out that somebody's family member had passed away, and we were just literally holding this person, comforting them, because that's all we have is each other. And it was just a very surreal thing in this bus. It was very emotional for all of us, and we got through it together as a unit. But that's the sort of like intensity of what tour life is, and how much you have to rely on each other to get through every day. You know?
3 years is a long time to be on the road. Is it tough to be a woman in a band full of men and be on the road for that amount of time?
Thankfully, we have our woman representative here. You know, can fly in. No, it's actually it's cool. I'm kind of used to it. You know, I grew up with big brothers and kind of being the girl and the princess. I love it. You know,
she loves. Being
I
the
definitely
princess.
love being the princess for sure. But you know, it's great. You know, it's being on the road with grown-ups that makes the difference. You know.
All right, you guys are going to start the tour. Once again, you're going to be playing our X-Fest on May 17th. The lineup is awesome. Offspring, 30 Seconds to Mars, Jimmy Eat World, Silver Sun Pickups, Dirty Heads, you guys, Waves, Atlas Genius, New Politics, I Am Dynamite. Anybody on there that you guys are really looking forward to seeing?
I would love to see Atlas Genius. You know, I've been a supporter of them since that, you know, that record dropped for them. And I can't wait to meet them. We actually have the same hairstylist, so we get to talk. We get to talk about that.
And I'm friends with Brian from Silver Sun, so that'll be good to. It's always good when you're on the road to run into friends and be able to say hi to them again.
When you're at a show that big, do you actually get a chance to see other bands? Is it
you do?
communal, or
well,
just in and out?
when you get to like run away for 5 seconds and you know turn your phone off and enjoy something. Yeah, I mean we've had lots of opportunities where we've gotten to see, you know, like Coachella for instance. We had nothing but time to kind of really hang out, so we actually got to see the festival, which was actually a first for us being at a festival and actually being able to enjoy it and you know have fun with our friends and stuff. But
usually we have to like ditch the tour manager and the publicist
exactly.
if you want to catch anything. Otherwise, you know, they're cracking the whip on you.
All right. The date, once again, is May 17th. It's the Sleep Train Amphitheater. It's X-Fest, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys perform for us.
Wait.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much.
All right. Thanks for taking a minute.
91X.